Hello guys, and welcome again to another episode with Jacqueline. This is the continuation of yesterday's story, and it was about why I migrated to Canada and the reason why now I'm thinking of going back to Africa. This is the reason why. So yesterday I spoke about my journey since 2005 until now, because 2005, that's when I moved to Canada. Yeah, if you did watch, you can go back to my yesterday's story. That was when I came here, and the process, the way it went. So now, oh, I forgot. Guys, if you're new here, I'm Jacqueline. If you haven't subscribed yet, please, it means a lot to me. Please subscribe, support. And thank you so much for coming back if you're a returning subscriber. Thank you so much. So let's not waste time. Let's get into it. So when I came to Canada, yesterday I told you the story when I came, what happened after I landed, and then I didn't tell you what happened from there. So let's catch what happened from there. So when I arrived, I told you I went to London, Ontario. That's outside Toronto. It's like 2 hours from Toronto. So I went there. I was staying with my family, relatives. So I stayed there. I stayed with them, getting to learn the culture and everything, what's happening around. So the first week, because I needed to communicate with my family back home, I decided, I told the people I was staying with, I would love to have a phone. That time I left my phone at home. I didn't have a smartphone. That time, 2005, they didn't have these nice phones. I remember I had a BlackBerry phone, which I brought. No, I didn't bring it. I left it at home. So when I came here, I told my relatives I need to communicate with my family. They said, oh, that's okay. You don't need to buy a phone. It's so expensive here because you don't have a job yet. You can use our phone. You can talk. Because I haven't told my mom that I arrived. I haven't told my mom or my sisters that I arrived in Canada. They said, that's okay. We'll give you we'll just buy a calling card and then you can call them. I'm like, in my end, I might have to be waiting to buy a calling card all the time. I felt like caged. I wanted my freedom. I wanted my own phone. I wanted something that I can text my friends and take pictures and post them to show them I'm in Canada. But no, it wasn't like that. She said it's very expensive here to afford a phone. I'm like, what do you mean? I would love to have a phone. So she said, okay, my son can take you. You go shop for a phone. Mind you, don't forget. Remember yesterday I told you I came with 300 Canadian dollars, which was like 30K at the time. 30,000 Kenyan shillings at the time. So I went to the phone shop. So we went with my cousin. No, with the family I was staying with the kids. They took me to buy a phone. So we went at first. Yeah, we went to the shop. They said, oh, you have to have a bank account. Yeah, I had to have a bank account and I didn't have a job. What will I be putting in that account anyway? So you have to have a bank account to have to buy a phone, because that's how you're gonna be paying the bill of the phone. So the complications started there. So I told the kid that took me to the bank, because that time I had come. The English was not Englishing with Canadian English. I couldn't understand what they were talking about. Especially this kid who was taking me. The parents we are families. They are Kenyans. They are my mom and we are like, okay? But I could not hear what they were talking. I kept on saying, what? They looking at me like, And don't forget, yeah, I know. I finished high school, I finished college, I finished everything, but the English, yeah? It wasn't what I expected. I could hear nothing. So we went to the bank. I tried to talk to the lady at the bank. She couldn't hear what I was talking about. I think they thought I was talking Kimeru. I tried to explain myself. She's like, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me. I'm like, so I'm trying to explain to this little kid what I want them to do, like, but they couldn't understand. It was trouble. Like, the three of us, we couldn't communicate. So what did I do? I went back. I told the kid, okay, take me back home. Maybe I have to tell your mom what I want you to tell the bank people, because I cannot. So we went back home. I didn't get the phone. I didn't open the bank because the communication was not communication. It was not communication reading. Okay? The English was not Englishing at all. I was like, Jesus, which school did we go to? Anyway. So after that, we went home. We went, and then I told the lady that I was staying with, that one we couldn't understand each other's language. The English, even our English was just like mine. So I told her, we went to the bank and it didn't work out because we couldn't communicate. The English, they couldn't understand what I'm talking about. So she said, okay, I'll take you. We'll go, me and you and our kid, because the kid has to be the mediator. I was like, how will I survive here if people can't understand what I'm talking about? How will I survive? That was shock number one. So, anyway, we went to the bank, we opened a bank account, and then we went to buy a phone. The phone that I bought that time, it was pay as you go. I think that's the one they have back at home. Right? You have to put a card. Like the one I have right now, you pay monthly. You pay, let's say, $100 a month, and that's your phone. You unlimited everything, unlimited internet, unlimited calling, unlimited texting, unlimited. Unless if you're calling international, you can use a calling card. So this time there was nothing like that. They said you'll get a calling card, but no, not a calling card, a phone, but it's a pay as you go. So I got my pay as you go phone. I got a little phone. I don't even remember what it was called. Maybe it was Alcatel or something. So I got my phone, and then they put, I think, $10 in it. I went home. Oh, I texted my mom. I'm like, Mom, this is my new phone number. Okay? Yeah, and I left safely. Now that's my phone number. You guys, we can talk. Little did I know, when they call me from Africa, that $10 within 1 minute, pew, it's done. Finish. So my mom was so excited. She called me the first day. Hello. Oh, nice to hear your voice. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm so happy, Mom, but I miss you guys. I kind of don't like this place. It's boring. I'm bored already. It's miserable. And then the phone went off. And then I asked my relatives, what happened to my phone? They said, oh, the money is finished. You have to put more. I'm like, put more? I didn't even talk for like 3 minutes. They're like, oh yeah, because it's a pay as you go. Because now you are paying calling and receiving. I was like, okay, this is not the thing I expected. I'm like, you guys, but I see when you call with your phone, you're on the phone for that or even 1 hour with your family. Oh yeah, this is landline. Yeah, but I use a calling card. That time I didn't understand what even she meant. After she left, I was like, I'm gonna use her phone to call home. So I took the landline. I dialed direct direct. Did I know? I absorbed the shock of my life. I was on the phone for I don't know how long. Oh my God, I'm talking. My mom is like, oh my goodness, this is so good. We're going to be talking every day. I spoke for like that a good minutes on the landline phone, direct call from Canada to Kenya. I was so excited. Oh, I started even trying to call my friends. I'm like, oh, now I have a phone. We can talk, guys. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness, this is so good. And then a week done. The second week, the third. Now I try to, I all the time, like maybe 2-3 days a week, I call my mom, like trying to check on them, how they are doing and everything. And then the bill came. My cousin came. Not my cousin. The lady I was staying with came. Yeah. She was like, Jacqueline, can I talk to you? I'm like, sure. She's like, did you use this phone to call home? I'm like, yes, I've been using that phone. It goes so, it's so clear. It's so direct. I'm so, thank you so much. It's, she said, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been using. You want to try it and see? You can call with it? She's like, you cannot use this phone direct because we're going to be charged a fortune. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, you can't. That's the biggest mistake that you can. You know how much the bill is right now? I'm like, what bill? She's like, because you called multiple times during the month. I can see you called more than 10 times. And you are staying on the phone for over 20 minutes. You know how much we are paying right now? I'm like, no. She's like, and guess what? You are the one to pay because I am not paying. I have my money has other things. I have other things, important things to do, not to pay for them. Why do you have to talk to people for 20 minutes on the landline and then you're calling dialect? I'm like, I didn't know, you didn't tell me. You're like, you could have asked. If you don't know anything here, you have to ask. Don't be doing things blindly without asking anything. I was like, Kimeniramba. She said right now, the bill owing, the money owing, it's like $875. I'm like, what? She's like, yes, it's like $875, which is like 800,000 Kenyan shillings. Just for a phone call. The phone calls that I was making to Africa. That's how expensive it was to call direct. She said you cannot do this because now this is like 100,000 we have to pay. And me, she said, I don't have that money. You have to know where you have to get that money from. That time I didn't have a job. But she was bringing some people over, like women, like Kenyan or Tanzanian or Ugandan women, for me to make their hair. I used to do the braids. So she brought this Tanzanian lady. Shout out Yvonne. She brought this lady for me to do braids. So I did the braids and I charged her $350. So I told her, if you bring 3 more people, if you can bring 3 more people, we can do, and then we can pay that phone bill. She's like, no. This is not the money we are using to pay. This is work. We do that $350. You have to divide into. I have to give you a portion. We have to pay the bills of the water, of whatever, of the salon, and then the rest, I have to keep it. You just get your percentage and get my percentage, and then you have to pay the bills. So you have to do this for a while. You have to do this to pay this bill. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I did the hair dressing thing. I did people's hair, of which much. Sorry, I hope this camera is not shaking. I just wanted to see it comfortably. So the money I was working for, it's just to pay it's just to pay the phone bill. 875,000 Kenyan shillings for a freaking phone bill. This is how expensive life is here. Little things it's a fortune. Anyway, that story I carry short. So I worked so hard. I did people's hair. I was standing the whole day trying to bring people's hair, knowing that I have to pay this bill and this and that and that. So I did that one. I paid the bill. So my cousin saying, don't touch this phone again unless you buy a calling card, you scratch it, and then you fill the you top up the phone card, and then you can call internationally. So that's what I started doing. So that was shock number one. Just a phone bill, I had to pay like 100K just for a phone call. I was like, this country, I don't like it already. That was within the month of living in Canada. And there was more to come. So, that finished. And then what happened next? I told my family friend that I need a regular job. I don't want to be staying home there and doing number days there, because even it's not paying, I cannot even give my family anything, and they were expecting me to be helping them since I came to Canada. So I need a regular job. And then they said, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. Hear me. I need to move from this small town. London, it was small. I need to go to a bigger city. I want to be a city girl. She said, you lost your mind. I'm like, no, I didn't. I mean it. If it doesn't work there, I'm going express to Kenya back. She's like, okay. So there, I told her, take me. With the Kenyan friends, families that we were meeting. If you watch the other episode, we used to meet every Friday with the Kenyan family friends for church things like prayers, because they had to bring these children knowing about our culture and everything. The parties, Christmas, we used to gather all the time, which is a good thing for kids to know, to grow knowing their people. Which they were very nice kids because they were brought up with very nice parents, very educated. They were Christians, the parents. They were lovely couples. I loved them. I used to go there. I used to feel like I'm home. So, what was I talking about? Oh. Yeah, so during those meetings that we were meeting, we met with another girl, another friend. She's a friend till to date. So she used to live in London, but she moved to Toronto. So I called her. I said, you know what? I don't want to stay in London anymore. It's so boring. She said, why don't you move? I have another friend. You can move and then we can rent together and then we'll start working. I'm like, working where? Because we don't have no Canadian education yet. Because here, it's hard to work in Canada without experience. Without education. And mind you, this was my second month in Canada with no Canadian experience, with no education. Na ile ushamba ya Kenya yangu nimetoka nayo huko Kenya. Ile ushamba, unajua? So the lady said, just move, let's go, let's try this, let's come, we try what we can do. So I came to Toronto. It was not like exactly Toronto metropolitan, as they call it. I don't even know what metropolitan means, but not Toronto metropolitan. So I moved in with a lady. We started life. She was Kenyan actress and she was my age. She said, we have to start working now. I'm like, where? She's like, we have to look for jobs, like cash jobs, cash paying jobs, so that we won't atutalipa ushuru, atutalipa taxes. Corruption is everywhere. I said, okay. So we applied for jobs online, and then we were called in this one factory. Factory. And that time, we were taking the bus. I wasn't driving. I was 2 months old in Canada. I didn't even do my driving, even in Kenya. I was not driving in Kenya. I came here. Here you have to do driving. And it's another video to get a driver's license in Canada. I don't know about other countries abroad. But in Canada, it is a whole new book, which costed a fortune. That's the most stressful thing. If you have a license in Canada, trust me, you are here elevated, because that's the hardest thing to get, nothing else. Even citizenship is easier to get than to get Canadian driver's license. Jeez. So we were taking the bus, and this time I came December. This is January. I stayed in London, Ontario in January, and then February I moved to Toronto. It's still winter time. In the middle of winter, minus 25 degrees, freezing. So I moved to Toronto. We looked for a job in a factory. The first day to go to that job, this is where kiliniramba. Nilijua sijui. Nilijua sijui. So this lady, we got jobs in different factories. So she went to a different factory. I don't know what her factory was doing. I think she was to fold boxes, and my factory was it was like a cosmetics factory where you have to check those lipstick, whatever, metallic, for the lipstick. You see if it has any scratch, they call them smudges. I don't know, whatever. The English they are using for everything has English using thing. Smudge. The supervisor used to be like, yeah, make sure you don't put any small thing on that box or this or that. I'm like, what? What's smudge? Anyway, so, hey, this is where I knew I don't know. No, even I did get to the factory. Okay, rewind back. Rewind a little bit. Rewind. So that first day, I set my alarm 6 o'clock. I was awake and all done, brushed, shower, everything, and packed my little sandwich. That's for lunch. In Kenya, we don't eat sandwiches for lunch, we eat food. So this was a new thing for me, to eat bread for lunch. No, that's a snack. And if you have to eat a bread, you have to eat like a half of it. No, until now I don't eat sandwiches for lunch. I cook food, okay? But this time around, that time I didn't have no crew. You have to buy a container, you have to cook food and carry food. They have microwaves at work, and then you can warm your food. But anyway, let's go to the story, because even I didn't get there. So I took this. I woke up so early. I took the bus. So, distraction. I took the bus. I was at the bus stop. It was snowing so much. And it was so cold. I waited for the bus. Little did I know, sometimes when it's snowing, the buses come a little bit late, or they are late. So I stayed there for 15 minutes. The buses used to come every 15 minutes. Okay? I stayed there for 15 minutes. No bus. I'm freezing. I was not dressed warm. I was freezing. I waited. No bus. And then I decided maybe I should walk. The previous day I had gone to check where the workplace was. So I knew where the workplace was. But little did I know, walking, it was different like driving. So I thought I can walk and get there. And then I looked, I was supposed to start work at 8:30. And now it's like 20 minutes to 8:30. It was like 8:10. I was still waiting at the bus. And then I said, you know what? I was freezing. I couldn't feel my fingers. I couldn't feel my toes. I couldn't feel anything. I was freezing. I couldn't even talk because it was so cold. I was dressed warm, but it wasn't warm enough. So I started walking. I was walking to work. I walked. And then it was 8:30. And then the phone rang. The phone rang in my pocket. I took the phone. Who is calling? The supervisor of that workplace. Hello. I couldn't even talk properly. I was just shivering. Oh, where are you? I'm coming. You know you are late already. I'm like, I'm coming. I couldn't get the bus. The bus didn't show up. They said that's not our problem. You are supposed to find other means of transport. If there is no bus, you have to take a taxi or something. We just need you to be a worker this time. And this time tried. I was just freezing, and then this guy is so rude on the phone already, telling me this and that. I couldn't even talk. I'm still working because I need that money. You know, you have to pay rent now, and you have to eat. You're on your own. And here I'm like, why am I struggling? Why am I going through all this? This is not the life that I expected. But guess what? The guy called again. He said, oh, never mind. You don't have to come because we got someone to replace you because your work is just waiting there and it needs to be done. So we have to get someone else to fill your position. I was like, wow. I'm like, but I'm close to the place now. I'm almost saying, oh, you can go back. That's me. I started walking back again. And it's in the snow. There's no bus now. Even I don't know where I am. I'm lost. I'm confused. So I called my agency. The one they gave me that job. I called them. I told them, they told me there is no job for today. I didn't tell them I was late. Because if you tell them you're late, they know you're not reliable. So I told them I was late. So, I don't know. The camera, the rating today, it's not the best. But anyway, so we'll try to fix this. Oh, jeez. Camera, stop back sitting. Maybe I have to change the position. Yeah, I think there it's much better. No? Yeah, so there. So, sorry guys, I had to reposition the camera. It was acting up because of the rating. It wasn't showing well. So I called this agency guy. Now the other one, the supervisor called me and said, you are too late and we want to get someone to replace you. Please go, we don't need you. I went back crying, and it's so cold. And then I'm like, God, why is this happening to me? This is so stressful. How will I survive? I'm in a new country by myself. I was only in my 20s. I'm like, oh, but back in my mind, I was like, you know what? If everything goes off, I'll just take the next flight and I'll be back in Kenya. I didn't care. I was like, Kenya is my home. I'm going back. If it doesn't work, I'm going back. I'm not like, it's not like I don't have a family, of which I have a very loving family. So I was like, so the agency guy said, oh, okay, since you are there, we can send you to this other place. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. So they sent me to a soda company. You know where they make the can soda? So they sent me there. I went, I took a bus, or which even taking those buses, because I was new in Toronto, or in Toronto, the way they call it, but I still work in Toronto, okay? Please, don't come for me. I was new in Toronto. So I took the bus. I went to that company. I went. That one I made it because the snow and already reduced a little bit. So I made it in time, on time. So I went. We started. The supervisor said, that's your whatever. That's your ride. I was like, okay. And then when I got there, I'm from Kenya and my home is very close to the factory. And I see the way factory work, the way the people work there. It's like a slavery. It's like slave whatever. It brought that thing in my hand. I'm like, what am I doing to myself? Why am I? People, they were like this. They saw us. So they were like, that's your line. And the supervisor said, okay, this has to go to this box. You have to separate, like their Pepsi, Coke, or whatever, Sprite, this, you have to put that to that box, this box, that box. So they were coming like 8 of them at once. So you have to put 2 Cokes there, two. Oh my God. I was like, okay, I can't catch up with this. I put, and they all came, they like a mountain, and then they fell out of them. It's a conveyor belt. It's coming so fast. I couldn't keep up. The supervisor came and said, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying, please, I'm trying. I need this money, I need this job. She's like, I'm sorry, you're fired. I'm like, what? I'm like, you know what? I agree, totally. I quit. You didn't fire me, I quit. I'm like, so can you pay me my money for today? She's like, even you didn't work for 15 minutes. I'm like, but I worked. He said, no, that's not enough. But if you want, okay, we will send you a check. I'm like, check? But you people, you told me it's a cash job. I don't want the government to see that I'm doing this kind of job and I am not legally to work yet. I don't have a work permit to work apart from the one I came to do. He said, yeah, we'll send you a check. That time I didn't even care. I'm like, I don't need it. Don't send me no check. And bye. I went in the lunch room. I sat down in the lunch room after they kicked me out. I sat down. I removed my sandwich. I ate. I took my juice. I drank. And then I went to the bus stop. I took the bus. And then I went home. When I went home, guess who was home? Remember the lady who went to the other factory? She was there too. She got kicked out. I'm like, oh, you finished already? She's like, no, I didn't finish. They said I'm so slow. I'm like, me too. Oh, we hugged each other. We're like, poor we. At least that one gave me a little bit of courage. I was like, oh, it's not only me. oh, there is another weakling over here. At least it's not only me, it motivated me. And then we gave each other like strength. We are like, oh, now we know. Next time when you go there, we have to be so fast. We have to do. She's like, yeah, for sure. And then we kept on looking. And then the following day, we got the good thing when you work for these agencies, you call, well, every time they kick you out, you call another one. And then they'll send you somewhere else. You go, you work for one day. Before the end of the day, they kick you out. You tell the agency, oh, there's no job there tomorrow. Can you give me another place to go? They will send you another one. So that's how I survived for a while. At Romland, I was like, this is not good for me. This is not good. And the other lady, we said, you know what? We need to do something else. We need maybe to go to school. She's like, how can we go to school? We're like, no, we just apply for a student loan and go to school. And that's what we did. After working, I don't know like how many factories, there is no factory that I worked for 2 days continuous. One day, you're so slow. One day, kicked out. One day, you can't keep up. One day, you're so slow. One day, a lot of mistakes. I was like, my goodness, this is terrible. Working in factories in Canada. I know. People, they needed to survive, but it was tiring. And then I said, maybe I should start looking for jobs to babysit. But babysitting kids in Canada, it's better working in a factory. Because those kids, you won't touch them. You can't discipline them. You can't tell them nothing. You talk, they're like, you can't be rude, I'll call the police for you. They won't even tell the mom. They'll tell you, I'm calling the police for you. You're not my mom. You're not my boss. So, where I come from, you discipline kids. Here, no, you don't discipline no kids. No. You can't touch nobody. You can't talk bad to them. They will be rude to you. They are like 5 years old or 6 years old or 7 years old, but they are telling you as if they are... It's like a 25-year-old body in a 5-year-old kid. They're heart-tuned. So, this will be a continuous story. It was not easy. So, on the next video, we'll meet and I'll let you know how I survived. Because this part won't be the funniest. I used to go comparing prices. I almost starved myself because you go to buy food, everything is like $5 plus tax, $9 plus tax. You go to buy clothes, it's ridiculous. So sometimes you end up even not like eating or maybe buying just bread and milk because other things, how can you afford? So this life, it's not easy. So before coming abroad or relocating, watch my videos. You learn a lot. You learn a lot. So I'll see you on the next one. I will see you on the next video. But I think it's worthy with resilience, commitment. I think you can make it. Guys, please, if you're watching this video, don't forget to subscribe because it means a lot to me. Okay? So life in Canada or abroad, it's not just a piece of cake. It's not. Don't let nobody lie to you. Yes, if you aren't working and everything, money, there is money. But even that money, the bills, they are coming from everywhere. Bills, 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 bills. You own a house, bills, 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 bills. It's not like somewhere else. When you own a house, that's your house. Here you pay mortgage until you die, and then you pay insurance until you die. It's okay. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next. Thanks for watching, and bye.